Is it recording? Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to your May 2025 astrological forecast. So the month starts off with the sun still in Taurus up until the 20th. And on the 4th we have a planet going retrograde, which is Pluto. Okay, everything else is in direct motion. On the 10th, Mercury moves into Taurus. On the 12th, there's a full moon in Scorpio. On the 20th, the sun moves into Gemini. On the 24th, Saturn moves into Aries. And I do have to say, you know, Neptune moved into Aries last month. I'm sorry. There, I had to use my computer, okay, to record. My camera is really screwing up, so please bear with me. You'll see on some of the other videos, they're like totally out of focus, so please just ignore that. Anyway, Neptune just moved into Aries, and Saturn also moves into Aries on the 24th, giving Pisces a little break, okay, over the summer at least. Both of these planets will move back into Pisces to finish up their transit there. And then next year, they'll fully move into Aries. But for this summer, for like a few months, both of these planets are going to be in Aries. So, you know, Pisces gets a break, and even Virgo, as far as that goes, the opposite sign of Pisces. So on the 25th, Mercury is in Gemini, and on the 26th, there's a new moon in Gemini, and all month, Venus is in Aries, and Mars is in Leo, okay? So, thank you so much. Special shout out to my subscribers for your continued support, for your likes and shares and comments, and if you're new to my channel and you like this video, be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. You'll be notified each time I upload something. You can also check out the links in the description box below. There is one to my website, but it is easier to just email me at Zane's Zodiac .com. I'm sorry, Zane Zodiac at gmail.com. Okay. And just ask me whatever it is you would like to know, whatever service, you know, do I offer this service or that service or whatever. And there's also a thing called Ask Me a Question, which is for those of you who only want to know maybe one or two things about your chart. And also, don't forget to check out my weekly forecast, which is now daily shorts. And now for your forecast. Happy birthday, Gemini. Oh, what a wonderful month for you. You still have Jupiter in your sign until next month. Okay, so really use it once planets move into your sign. A lot of times before Jupiter leaves their sign to finishes up its transit, it will do one last thing, okay, to give you the opportunity to use its good fortune to the best of your ability. You know, if you haven't been able to do whatever with it, you know, Jupiter does bring opportunities. You really have to get out there and use it. You can't just sit there and wait for it to fall in your lap, right? So, you know, if you, like I said, if you haven't been able to do anything, try to do it now, especially when the sun moves into Gemini. Both the sun and Jupiter will be together, okay? It's a shame Venus won't be in your sign at the same time too, but it will eventually anyway. I do have to mention, you know, I had to switch cameras. I'm on my computer, which I don't normally use for this because I have lights so close to my computer right now that they're causing me to like squint. So, you know, please excuse me, but I am like squinting, I've noticed, off and on, when I'm even trying not to, okay, but I just have to mention that. Okay, anyways, though, the month does start off with the sun in Taurus up until the 20th when it moves into Gemini. Okay, Taurus is on your 12th house. of behind-the-scenes activities by you or someone else, secrets and confidences, the subconscious mind, dreams, the house of charity, and the house of confinement. Many, many things. It's a psychic ability, one of the houses, okay? So when planets are here, especially like the sun, it's your time to like cool down, you know, recharge your batteries, spend time by yourself doing things that you don't need someone else to be with you to do it. You know, you're enjoying your alone time before the sun moves into your first house and you're like back on the scene. You know, you're like the center of attention because the sun is in your first house. So, you know, you need some time to spend whatever alone by yourself. I always say, okay, now Mercury is still in Aries up until the 10th. Ooh, I hope that didn't come on my screen. Whatever. Okay, anyways, so up until that point, though, you know, I'll get to that in a minute, Aries. But when Mercury moves into Taurus, it's moving very fast because it moves into your sign on the 25th. So from the 10th to the 25th, that's all the time that it's in Taurus. When Mercury is in the 12th house, I call it the great investigator, okay, because it really brings out the snoop in you. So you may spend this time trying to find out more about something or someone, okay, inquiring. Now, whether you do this behind the scenes or you do it openly, I don't really think it matters. You know, you still have the planet Uranus in Taurus in your 12th house, so there's still stuff happening, just like popping into your mind, like thoughts that just pop into your mind totally out of the blue. You're like, where did that come from? Why am I thinking that? You know what, though, as far as like I was saying about psychic ability, when you have an impression, like right off, something pops into your head and you don't know why, just go with that, okay? Never second guess it, never over analyze it. Always go with your first feeling, okay? Because that's the one that's correct. Usually when you start tearing it apart, that's what you do. You tear it apart. So anyway, just keep that in mind. You know, you're getting things together behind the scenes, possibly, but you are making plans, laying out whatever plans that you're going to do when the sun moves into your sign. Okay, now I do have to mention that Neptune moved into Aries last month, and Saturn moves into Aries on the 25th of this month, 24th, sorry, in your 11th house. That's where you have the sign of Aries, and Venus is in Aries all month. Okay, your 11th house is your friends and acquaintances, socializing in person or online where you would normally go to hang out, any group or organization that you belong to, and also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. So, you know, these planets will just be here over the summer. Then they are going to fully move into Aries next year, and I will be doing a video about these planets being in Aries, right? So they're only going to be here for a few months. It'll give you a little bit of an idea of what to expect, possibly, even though they'll be in very low degrees. You may notice it, you may not notice it, but just having Neptune here since last month, you know, and this being the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, I think I'll go with that for now. You know, it is bringing back to mind maybe an old dream that you've had, an old goal that you've always wanted to achieve. So maybe now, even with Saturn moving here, that you are going to set out to do that. Okay, that's the plus side. On the downside, you may have a friend or someone in a group or organization that you belong to that is not who they say they are. They're a bit deceptive. They stand in your way. That's what Saturn does sometimes right here when it's in the 11th house. You have someone Not usually a something, it's a someone that blocks your move to like get ahead. You know what I mean? To go after your goal and achieve it. Okay? Who knows why? People are, I don't know. Anyway, I do have to also mention, though, that Saturn is still in Pisces up until the 25th. 24th. I keep saying 25th. Up until the 24th. So it's still in your 10th house of your career and your public persona, how the public views and speaks about you. Your 10th house is your most public house, but it's basically like your career and your reputation regarding your livelihood or what you used to do for a living, even if you're like retired, and your public persona. And with Saturn here, you know, it's been here for a couple years. If you were making a very kind of slow, hard climb up the corporate ladder, or whatever, with a boss possibly, or a colleague standing in your way, loading you down with work, possibly taking credit for your work that they were loading you down with, okay? But you are, excuse me, you achieved something. You know, it's hard, it wasn't fun, you know, you may even be bored with all of it. You know, you may even have ideas about changing your career. Okay. So, also though, there is a full moon in Scorpio on the 12th. In your 6th house, that's where you have the sign of Scorpio. It is directly across from your 12th house of Taurus. So, the 6th house is the workplace, the kind of work that you do. Your co-workers, your work schedule, your house of health, and your house of service to others, okay? So, you know, something here is happening, let's say, at work. It could be with a co-worker or a boss or the company even that you work for. And that may even be part of your sleuthing or your snooping, you know, that you're doing when Mercury first moves into Taurus on the 10th. So you may find out something, you know, about the company you work for, or, you know, someone you work with. This is also the house of health and the house of service to others, okay? So, you know, I don't think it's a very big deal. I believe that this is happening at work. Full moons are there to get rid of problems, so you don't have to deal with them again. So if you're having a problem with a coworker or the work itself, or if you're self-employed and you have an annoying client, or if you're, excuse me, even retired, whatever, excuse me, that's what this full moon is for, is to get rid of it. Get rid of it. You know, discuss it. Bring it to the surface. Discuss it. Who cares if somebody doesn't like it, right? So then, okay, now, the sun moves into your sign on the 20th. Mercury moves here on the 25th. New moon in Gemini on the 26th. And, of course, you still have Jupiter in your sign until next month. So, new moon, this is your personal new moon, meaning this is the start of your new year. Okay, it goes from this May 22nd to May 26th, rather, sorry, to May 26th of 2026. So what, you don't have to do anything on this day, but it is nice to start your new moon with like starting something. If you can't get out to do whatever, write it down. It's like setting your intentions on what you want this upcoming year to be. And you've got it with Jupiter still in your sign, okay? And Mercury, your ruling planet here too, you know, at the same time. Again, you could be on the very, the end of receiving and sending tons of communications at this time with Mercury in your first house. Everybody's contacting you. And now I would think that a lot of it has to do with your birthday, you know? Even when planets are still in Taurus, okay, in your 12th house, somebody could be planning like a surprise party for you or something, or maybe they just want to take you out. They may have even mentioned it to you already about, you know, taking you out somewhere for lunch, dinner, whatever. Okay, let them. Let them. You know, when planets move into Cancer, and Jupiter will, when it leaves your sign, will move into your second house of money. So not bad. You know, you'll probably be receiving some belated birthday gifts in June, like at the end of June into July, you know. And I do have to mention that Pluto in Aquarius in your 9th house turns retrograde on the 4th. 9th house being long-distance travel and communications, foreign countries, people, languages, higher learning, media and publishing, legal matters, the house of adventure. Okay, Pluto here is probably really changing your views eventually on spirituality and religion, your philosophy on life, many, many things. You may take up the study of, you know, some esoteric subjects, whatever. But with this planet turning retrograde, you know, and this being the big long-distance travel planet, maybe you may be, you know, traveling to another country or at a distance. Maybe you've been wanting to go, maybe you didn't have the opportunity, and with this planet turning retrograde, maybe the opportunity shows up. Okay, or to attend a class or even teach one, or just anything. Actually, you may even hear from someone that you haven't heard from in like years and years. Okay, so the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Gemini on the 26th, 27th, and 28th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Sagittarius, and those dates are the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling, and speculation, or anything to do with children, is the 8th, 9th, 10th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The best time for money is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 15th, 16th, 17th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. The best time for your career is the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And the best time for communication and travel is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. So, happy birthday to you. Enjoy yourself. See ya.